We'll begin our answer to those 4 questions by telling a story that comes not from ancient Egypt, but from our own shores. But before we tell the story, I want to urge each of you, don't limit yourself to just those 4 questions. Ask many questions throughout the Seder. Use the Haggadah as a framework for discussion, for telling our own family stories, not just the story found in the book. So ask your questions, both those we've just sung and those that come from your heart, as we continue answering our 4 questions. We say when we retell the story of our flight from Egypt, we come to appreciate those who have been refugees and fugitives. The oldest standing synagogue in North America was built in 1763 in Newport, Rhode Island, by Spanish Portuguese immigrants, descendants of persecuted Marrano Jews. They had come to America so that they could, for the first time in generations, openly practice their Judaism in their new home. In the center of the synagogue, under the bima, they built a special hiding place as a lesson learned from their many years of persecution and their undercover Jewish practice. For 100 years, the congregants retold their story and passed on the secret of the underground shelter. Thankfully, Jews have never had to use this hideout. But there were other people who came to the synagogue in search of a hiding place on their way to freedom from oppression. In the years preceding the Civil War and the emancipation of slaves in the United States, many slaves were smuggled from the South to the North on their way to safety in Canada. The Jewish community put their synagogue and its underground hiding place at the disposal of the refugee slaves, fugitives from injustice, on their way to freedom. In this way, they gave a renewed interpretation to the mitzvah from Deuteronomy. If a slave has taken refuge with you from his persecutors, do not hand the slave over to his master. Let the fugitive slave live among you wherever he likes, and in whatever town he chooses. Do not oppress the slave. We say, Avadim Hayyinu, Hayyinu ata b'nei horim. We were slaves. Now we are free.
Avadim Hayyinu, ata b'nei horim. Avadim Hayyinu, ata b'nei horim. Avadim Hayyinu, ata b'nei horim.